This is part 4 of class 12, chapter number 3, current electricity. So in this part, we'll discuss the CBSE board questions based on current electricity. Okay, so here we'll also discuss the sensitivity of a potentiometer, which was left in the previous part. So the sensitivity of a potentiometer is defined as the smallest potential difference which can be measured with the help of a potentiometer. So the smallest potential difference which can be measured with the help of a potentiometer is called as its sensitivity. Now the sensitivity of a potentiometer can be increased by decreasing its potential gradient. We know that the potential gradient is given by V upon L. So in order to decrease the potential gradient, the length of the potentiometer wire should be increased. So to decrease the potential gradient, we can increase the length of the potentiometer wire and the sensitivity of the potentiometer can be increased. So the sensitivity can be increased by increasing the length of the potentiometer wire. Okay, if the length of the wire is fixed, then the current in the potentiometer wire can be reduced with the help of rheostat. Current is reduced, so V will be reduced, and hence the potential gradient will be reduced and the sensitivity of the potentiometer will be increased. Okay, so here we know that the graph between V and L for a potentiometer is a straight line. Let for two potentiometer wires, the graphs are as shown, A and B. Now here you have to find out which potentiometer is more sensitive. For more sensitive, the potential gradient should be less. So for a particular length, we see that VA, the potential difference of A wire is greater than the potential difference of B wire. That is, VB is less than VA. So the potential gradient of B wire is less than the potential gradient of A wire. So which wire is more sensitive? The one which is having less potential gradient, whose potential gradient is low. So here B wire is more sensitive as compared to the A wire. Now here we'll discuss few questions which have come in CBSE board. So there will be 3 exercises. In the first exercise, we'll discuss the questions based on resistance, resistivity, also about the cells, EMF, internal resistance and the terminal potential difference, the questions based on all these topics. Whereas in exercise 2, we'll discuss the CBSE board questions of meter bridge experiment, potentiometer experiment, etc. And in the third exercise, we'll discuss the questions on heating effect of electric current. So there, in short, we'll study the heating effect of electric current and we'll discuss the board questions in the third exercise. So let's start with the exercise 1. First question, if the temperature of a conductor decreases, how does the relaxation time of electrons in a conductor change? Okay, when the temperature decreases, now the electrons will take more time to collide. That is, the time interval between two successive collision increases, and this time interval between two successive collision, we call it as the relaxation time. Hence, the relaxation time increases. The next question is, what is the effect on drift velocity if the electric field is increased? We know that the expression of the drift velocity is given by E upon m into tau. Now here it is said that when the electric field is increased, here we see that the drift velocity also increases. So hence the drift velocity increases. Okay, then the next question is, which graph represents parallel combination? The graph between V and I is as shown. Which graph is representing parallel combination? Okay, so here we know that in parallel combination, the equivalent resistance is less. So here for a particular current, V for B wire is, V for B combination is more, whereas V for A combination is less. So it means the resistance of A is less than the resistance of B combination. Hence, A represents parallel combination. Why? Because we know that in a parallel combination, the equivalent resistance is less. Okay, whereas the B1 is representing for series combination. Okay, because its resistance is more. So in case of series combination, the equivalent resistance is more, whereas in case of parallel combination, the equivalent resistance is less. Now question number 4 is a wire of resistivity rho is stretched to double its length. What will be the new resistivity? We know that the resistivity is given by M upon N E square into tau. We have derived this expression. From this expression, we see that the resistivity is depending upon the number density of the electrons. Okay, that is on the nature of the material. Different materials, different resistivity. And also it is depending upon the relaxation time. How it is depending? Inversely proportional to the relaxation time, and relaxation time is further depending upon the temperature. So the resistivity does not depend upon the length and cross-sectional area. Resistivity is only depending upon the nature of the material and on the relaxation time, and relaxation time is depending upon the temperature. So resistivity does not depend upon the length and area of cross-section, hence the resistivity will remain the same. Question number 5 is, what is the change in resistance of a wire when its radius is half and the length is reduced to 1/4 of its original value? We know that the resistance is given by rho L upon A. Okay, the cross-sectional area can be written as pi r square, where r is the radius of the wire. Okay, now this is the original resistance. Let the new resistance is r dash when the radius is half and the length is reduced to 1/4. As the material is the same, resistivity will remain the same. Okay, now the new length L dash is L upon 4, whereas the new radius r dash is r upon 2. So here we see that this is equal to rho L upon 4, whereas the denominator is pi r square upon 4. 4 and 4 cancels out. So rho L upon pi r square. And this new resistance is equal to the original resistance. That is, it is equal to R. So hence the resistance does not change. The resistance will remain the same only. Okay, question number 6 is a battery of EMF E, an internal resistance small r gives a current of 0.5 amperes when the external resistance is 12 ohm, and it gives a current of 0.25 amperes when the external resistance is 25 ohms. Here you have to calculate the internal resistance and EMF of the cell. Okay, we know that the current is equal to EMF upon the external resistance, which is in series to the internal resistance of the cell. Okay, so here current is 0.5 amperes when the external resistance is 12 ohms. Okay, as the cell is the same, its EMF and the internal resistance will remain the same. This is equation number 1, and it gives a current of 0.25 amperes when the external resistance is 25 ohms. So these are the two equations. On simplifying these two equations, we get the internal resistance to be 1 ohm. Okay, now in order to get EMF, you can substitute this R is equal to 1 ohm in one of the equation, in any one of the equation. So you will get the EMF to be 6.5 volt. Question number 7 is 12 cells, each having an EMF 1.5 volt and internal resistance 0.5 ohm, are arranged in m number of rows, and each row is having n number of cells. Here you have to calculate the value of n and m, for which the combination will send a maximum current through this external resistance 1.5 ohm. Okay, now from the figure we see that it is the mixed grouping, and in mixed grouping for maximum current We have already derived the equation. The external resistance should be equal to the equivalent of internal resistance. Now here the equivalent of internal resistance is equal to NR upon M. Substituting the values, the external resistance is 1.5 ohms, N, and the internal resistance is 0.5 ohm upon M. Okay, on simplifying it, we get N is equal to 3M. Let this is equation number 1. Okay, also, how many number of cells are there? 12. So, N number of cells into M. So, N into M is equal to 12. Here, N into M is equal to 12. Let this is equation number 2. Solving 1 into, we get M is equal to 2 and N is equal to 6. So, in one of the row, the number of cells are 6 and this way there are 2 rows. Now question number 8 is, there are n resistors, each of resistance small r. They are first connected to get minimum resistance. We know that in order to get minimum resistance, they will be connected in parallel. In the second case, they are connected to get maximum resistance. For maximum resistance, they will be connected in series. Compute the ratio between the maximum and the minimum value of resistance. Okay, now let's find out when they are connected in parallel to get minimum resistance. Let it is equivalent resistances Rp, which will be equal to 1 upon R plus 1 upon R plus. How many resistances are there? N. So Rp will be equal to R upon N. So in order to get minimum resistance, how are they connected? In parallel, and the minimum resistance is Rp, which is equal to R upon N. Okay, in order to get maximum resistance, they will be connected in series. Let the equivalent of the series combination is Rs, which is equal to R plus R. How many times? N times. So the maximum resistance, which is the equivalent of the series combination, is equal to N into R. This is equation number 2. Compute the ratio between minimum and maximum. So here we have to find out the ratio of Rp to Rs, minimum to maximum, which is equal to R upon N, and Rs is N into R. So here we get 1 is to N square. Question number 9 is, two metallic wires of the same material, same length, but cross-sectional area in the ratio 1 is to 2 are first connected in series, then in parallel. We have to compare the drift velocities of the electrons in both the cases, that is in series and in parallel. Okay, now given in the question that same material, so the number density of the electrons will be the same. The length of the wire is same as given in the question. Okay, but the ratio of the cross-sectional area A1 is to A2 is 1 is to 2. Okay, now we know that I is equal to NEAVD. So VD will be equal to I upon NE into A. Okay, the first case is in the series combination. In series combination, the current remains the same. To both the wires, the current will be the same. Charge on the electron is same. The number density of the electrons is same as the material is same. So the drift velocity is inversely proportional to the cross-sectional area. So in series combination, the ratio of the drift velocities of the two wires VD1 to VD2 will be equal to 2 is to 1. Now in the second case, when they are connected in parallel, here we use the same formula, VD is equal to I upon NEA. But as they are connected in parallel, the current to the two wires will not be the same. So I will write in terms of potential difference. According to Ohm's law, we know that I is equal to V upon R. Okay, now the resistance of the two wires may be different. So we have to eliminate this resistance, R can be written as rho L upon A. Here cross-sectional area, A cancels out. Okay, now here in parallel combination, the potential difference across each wire will remain same. That is, V is same. As the material is same, rho is same. Given in the question that the length is same, as the material is same, so the number density of the electrons is same and also E is same. So here Vd is V upon rho L N into E. So Vd1 to Vd2 will be equal to 1:1. It will remain the same. Okay, now question number 10 is a wire of 15 ohm is stretched to double its length. It is then cut into two equal parts. These parts are connected in parallel across a 3-volt battery and we have to find out the current from the battery. Okay, it is given that the resistance of a wire is 15 ohms when its length is L and the cross-sectional area is A. Now this wire is stretched to double its length. That is L dash is twice of L. Cross-sectional area will be affected. Okay, when it is doubled its length, then the cross-sectional area will be half. Okay, that is the wire will become thin. So the cross-sectional area will become A by 2. Now the new resistance of the wire will be equal to rho L dash upon A dash. L dash is twice of L and the cross-sectional area is A by 2. So it is 4 times rho L upon A. And from here we see that rho L upon A is 15 ohms. So 4 into 15, this will be 60 ohms. That is, now the resistance of the wire will become 60 ohms. Okay, then it is given that it is cut into two equal parts. Equal parts means the length will be the same. So for each part, the resistance, let it is R1 and R2. For each part, the resistance will be 30 ohms. Why? Because we know that resistance is directly proportional to length. The 60 ohm resistance is cut into two equal parts. So each part will have a resistance 30 ohms. Okay, now these two parts are connected in parallel across a 30-volt battery. So these are the two resistances, each of 30 ohm, which are connected in parallel across a 3-volt battery. Okay, now let's find out the equivalent resistance to get the current, which we have to determine over here. Okay, so the equivalent resistance will be 1 upon R1 plus 1 by R2, that is 1 by 30 plus 30, that is it is equal to 2 by 30. Hence the equivalent resistance is equal to 30 upon 2, that is 15 ohms. Okay, so the equivalent resistance of the circuit is 15 ohms and the battery voltage is 3 volts. So here the current will be given by V upon the equivalent resistance in parallel, that is 3 upon 15, which is equal to 0.2 amperes. Hence the answer is 0.2 amperes. Question number 11 is two conducting wires X and Y of the same diameter but different materials are joined in series across a battery. The number density of the electrons in X is twice than that in Y. Find the ratio of the drift velocity of the electrons in two wires. So it is given that they are of the same diameter. Same diameter means the cross-sectional area of the two wires is the same. Are joined in series. As they are joined in series, so the current flowing through each wire will be the same. Okay, but the material of the two wires are different. So the number density will be different and it is given that the number density of the electrons in X is twice than that in Y. So Nx upon Ny is equal to 2:1. Okay, now here you have to find out the ratio of the drift velocities. We know that Vd is given by I upon Ne into A. As they are connected in series, I is same. The charge on the electron will be constant. Cross-sectional area is same given in the question. So Vd is inversely proportional to the number density of the electrons. Hence, the ratio of the drift velocities of X to Y will be equal to Ny upon Nx which is equal to 1:2. Hence, the answer is the ratio of the drift velocity of x to y is 1:2. Question number 12. Write any two factors on which the internal resistance of a cell depends. We have already discussed. It depends upon the distance between the electrodes. It also depends upon the area of the electrodes immersed inside the electrolyte. Okay, and also on the concentration of the electrolyte and on the nature of the electrolyte. Now the question is the reading of voltmeter when a cell is connected across it is 2.2 volts. Okay, so across this cell when a voltmeter is connected it is 2.2 volts. That is, this 5 ohm resistance is not in the circuit. When the terminals of the cell are also connected to a resistance of 5 ohms, the reading drops to 1.8 volts. So it means the EMF of a cell is 2.2 volts. When this resistance is not in the circuit, then the potential difference across the terminals is 2.2 volts. So the voltmeter is reading 2.2 volts. So this is the EMF. When this is connected to a resistance, then we get the terminal potential difference, which is 1.8 volts. And the value of the external resistance is given as 5 ohms. Here you have to find out the internal resistance. We know that the expression of the internal resistance, which we have already derived, is given by E upon V minus 1 into R. So substituting the values 2.2 upon 1.8 minus 1 into 5, you get the internal resistance to 1.11 ohms. Hence the answer is 1.11 ohms. Question number 13 is two wires of equal length, one of copper and the other of manganese, have the same resistance. Which wire is thicker? We know that resistance is given by rho L upon A. Hence the cross-sectional area is equal to rho L upon R. Okay, equal length. One is of copper and the other is of manganese. Length is equal, that is L is same, and it is given in the question that both have the same resistance. So the cross-sectional area is directly proportional to resistivity. Okay, here we know that the resistivity of manganese is greater than that of copper. So the cross-sectional area of manganese will be more than that of copper. Hence the manganese wire is thicker. Number 14 is identify the region over which the semiconductor has a negative resistance. Okay, this graph between V and I we have already discussed. This is for gallium arsenide semiconductor. Okay, now which part is representing negative resistance? From here to here the graph is linear and this part is representing non-linear region and this part B to C is representing negative resistance. So which part is representing negative resistance? BC part. Question number 15 is two identical cells each of EMF E and negligible internal resistance are connected in parallel with each other across an external resistance capital R. What is the current through the resistance? We know that current is EMF upon the resistance as these cells are connected in parallel. So for the parallel combination, the net EMF will be E only upon the total resistance is capital R only. Why? Because the cell is having negligible internal resistance. So I is equal to E upon R. Question number 16. Estimate the drift speed of the electrons in a copper wire of cross-sectional area 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 meters square carrying a current of 1.5 amperes. So the cross-sectional area is given as 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 7 meters square and the current is given as 1.5 ampere. And the number density of the electrons is given as 9 into 10 raised to the power 28 per meter cube. Okay, now here you have to find out the drift speed. We know that the drift speed in terms of I, N, E and A, it is given by I upon N, E into A. So substituting the values, 1.5 divided by 9 into 10 raised to the power 28 and the charge on the electron is 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb upon this cross-sectional area which is given as 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 7. On simplifying it, you will get the answer to be 1.048 millimeter per second. Okay, this you will get it in meter per second, which you can convert it in millimeter per second. So the answer is 1.048 millimeter per second. Question number 17 is VI graph at two different temperatures T1 and T2 is as shown in the figure. Which of these two temperatures is higher and why? Okay, the graph is between V and I. We know that the slope of the line gives the resistance. So here the slope of the graph which is at T1 temperature is more. So the resistance R1 is greater than R2. And we know that how is the resistance affected by the temperature? With the increase in temperature, the resistance increases. So the T1 temperature is greater than T2. Question number 18. A potential difference V is applied across a conductor of length N and diameter D. How is the drift velocity affected? We know that the drift velocity in terms of current is given by Vd is equal to I upon Ne into A. Okay, now here we have to bring this expression in terms of potential difference, and we know that I is equal to V upon R. Okay, also resistance we can bring it in terms of length and diameter. So resistance can be written as rho L upon A. Here A cancels out. So the expression of the drift velocity is V upon rho L N into E. Okay, now let's see the first part. The potential difference is half. Keeping the other parameters, that is the denominator constant, we see that Vd is directly proportional to V. When the potential difference is half, Vd is also half. Now in the second part, the length is doubled. Keeping the other parameters constant, we see that the drift velocity is inversely proportional to length. Okay, now if the length is doubled, the drift velocity will be half. Okay, whereas the third part is diameter is half. Diameter means the cross-sectional area is affected. Okay, here in this expression we see that the drift velocity does not depend upon the cross-sectional area, that is the diameter. So Vd remains unaffected, that is Vd is unchanged. So it remains the same. Question number 19 is, when a 5 volt potential difference is applied across a wire of length 0.1 meter, the drift speed of the electrons is given as 2.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 meter per second, and the electron density is given as 8 into 10 raised to the power 28 per meter cube. You have to calculate the resistivity of the wire. We know that the expression of resistivity is M upon Ne square into tau, where tau is the relaxation time. Okay, but here the drift velocity is given, so we have to bring this expression of tau in terms of drift velocity. We know that the drift velocity is given by E upon M into tau. So from here tau is equal to Vd into M upon E into capital E. Okay, so substituting it over here. Okay, we substitute relaxation time over here to get the expression of resistivity in terms of drift velocity. So here we get the expression of the resistivity to be M, this capital E will come in the numerator, N E square upon E, 1 E cancels out, N E Vd into M. Okay, now you can substitute all these values. Okay, electric field also will convert it in terms of potential difference, because here the potential difference is given. So E is equal to V upon L. Now you can substitute the values. Here V is the potential difference is 5 volts. The length of the wire is 0.1 meter. The number density of the electrons is 8 into 10 raised to the power 28. Charge on the electron we know is 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. And the drift velocity is given as 2.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 4. Okay, on simplifying it, you get the answer 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 ohm into meter. So you can simplify and you will get the answer to be 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 ohm into meter. Question number 20. Nichrome and copper wires of same length and same radius are connected in series. Current I is passed through them. Which wire gets heated up more? We know that the expression of heat produced is I square R into T. We'll take this expression in terms of I because as the two wires are connected in series, so the current flowing through them will be the same. Okay, now the resistance in terms of resistivity can be written as R is equal to rho L upon A. Okay, now in the question it is given that both the wires are connected in series, so I is same. Both the wires are of same length, L is same. Okay, and also the cross-sectional area is same. Why? Because their radius is equal and they are passed for the same time. The current is passed for the same time. So here we see that heat produced is directly proportional to the resistivity of the materials. Okay, and we know that nichrome is an alloy and its resistivity is more than copper. So as resistivity of nichrome is more than copper, so the heat produced in the nichrome wire will be greater than that in copper. 21, 22 and 23. These are the MCQ questions which are coming 2020. The resistance of a metal increases with the increasing temperature on account of. There are four options given over here. Okay, now here we know that the resistivity is given by M upon Ne square into tau. Okay, now as the temperature increases, the relaxation time decreases and hence its resistivity increases, so the resistance increases. So the resistance of the metal increases due to the decrease in relaxation time. So the correct option is due to decrease in relaxation time tau. The next is the conductivity of a metal decreases with the increase in temperature on account of. We know that conductivity is the reciprocal of resistivity, which is given by Ne square tau upon M. Okay, now the conductivity of the metal decreases with the increase in temperature. As the temperature increases, the relaxation time decreases and that is why the conductivity decreases. So the conductivity is affected by the temperature due to this relaxation time. That is, there is a decrease in the relaxation time. So the correct option is the C1. Question number 23 is two unequal resistors are connected in series across a battery. Let us consider that R1 and R2, which are unequal resistances, are connected in series and these two resistances are connected across a battery. Okay, now here the first option is the potential difference across each resistor is the same. We know that in series combination, the potential difference developed across each resistor is different. If the value of the resistances is different, then V1 and V2 will be different. So A option is incorrect. B option is the current in the smaller resistor is larger. We know that in series combination, the current flowing through each of the resistor is same. So B option is also incorrect. C option is potential difference across the bigger resistor is greater. Okay, more the resistance, then the potential difference developed across it will be more. So the C option is correct. The power dissipated in both the resistors is the same. No, it is depending upon the resistance. So the power dissipated I square R into T will be different in the two resistors. So the correct option is the C1. Question number 24, which has come in 2020 for 3 marks. The A part is two cells of EMF E1 and E2 and their internal resistances R1, R2 respectively are connected in parallel. Let's draw the circuit diagram. This is the first cell having an EMF E1 and internal resistance R1. This is the second cell having an EMF E2 and its internal resistance is R2. Okay, so this parallel combination is connected across an external resistance capital R. So this parallel combination is connected across an external resistance capital R. Let the current through E1 cell is I1 and let the current through E2 cell is I2. At this junction, we know that the current entering is I1 plus I2. So the current leaving this junction will be equal to I1 plus I2. Let it is equal to I. That is I is equal to I1 plus I2. Okay, I is the total current from both of the cells. So I is equal to E equivalent upon the equivalent of internal resistances, where I1 is equal to E1 upon R1 and I2 is equal to E2 upon R2. Okay, so in order to get this E equivalent, let's take the LCM over here. E1 into R2 plus E2 into R1 upon R1 into R2 multiplied by R equivalent. Okay, now first let's find out the equivalent of these two internal resistances as they are connected in parallel. So 1 upon R equivalent is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2. Let's take the LCM R1 into R2 and the numerator is R1 plus R2. Hence R equivalent is R1 into R2 upon R1 plus R2. This is the expression of the equivalent of internal resistance of the two cells. Let's substitute R equivalent over here to get the equivalent EMF of the two cells. R equivalent is R1 into R2 upon R1 plus R2. R1 into R2 cancels out and hence we get the expression of the equivalent EMF as E1 into R2 plus E2 into R1 upon R1 plus R2 is the expression for the equivalent EMF. Okay, now the B part is, in case the two cells are identical, each having an EMF 5 volt and internal resistance 2 ohms, calculate the voltage across the external resistance where capital R is equal to 10 ohms. Okay, so here we know that the current will be equal to the equivalent EMF of the circuit upon the total resistance. R external resistance is in series to the equivalent of the internal resistances. Okay, what will be the equivalent EMF? As both the cells are of equal EMF, that is 5 volt. So the EMF is 5 volt and the external resistance is 10 ohms, and this should be, there are two cells having the resistances each of 2 ohm. So the equivalent will be equal to, let's find it here, 1 upon R equivalent will be equal to 1 upon 2 plus 1 upon 2. So R equivalent is equal to 1 ohm. So this is R equivalent is 1 ohm. Hence the current is 5 upon 11 amperes. Here we have to find out the potential difference. We know that V is equal to I into R across the external resistance. The potential difference is given by I into R. Current is 5 by 11 amperes and the resistance given here is 10 ohms. So it is 50 upon 11 volts. which is equal to 4.54 volts. Hence, the potential difference is 4.54 volts across 10 ohms resistance. Okay, so this part we have completed. Now in the next part, we'll discuss the CBSE board questions based on potentiometer experiment, meter bridge experiment. Okay, whereas in the third exercise, we'll discuss the heating effects of electric current and the questions based on it. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, kindly do so that you can watch the coming parts also. Thank you.